AeroPress is one of the most popular ways to get delicious tasting coffee. The method is pretty easy and you can get really great results for relatively little cost. Recently, I've been playing around with the AeroPress and the new American Press, a coffee maker by Alex Albanese, and comparing the results that I've gotten from both of them. Now, it's not all that easy to compare because they do make slightly different coffee. An AeroPress you'll grind a little bit finer and it'll be a stronger brew, and an American Press is a little bit more like a French press with much easier cleanup. So I thought I would show you how I brew with both of these excellent coffee makers and then tell you which one I prefer. I'm going to start off with the AeroPress. There are even AeroPress championships now, so with different ratios and brew methods coming to the front in these championships, I've settled on the kind of way I like to make my AeroPress. I start off with a coffee that's ground to about the same fineness as I would for a pour over, and then I pour 130 grams of water on top. Then I use this AeroPress paddle to stir the grounds for about 20 seconds. I wait for about 1 minute with the lid on, and then flip the whole device upside down and press slowly into my heated cup. Some people use a timer of 1 minute for the press, but I generally just eyeball the time and push down slowly. Once I've got the coffee in the cup, I add 100 to 150 grams of hot water to dilute the mixture. My first tip with AeroPress coffee: don't use water straight off the boil. It actually can burn or scald the coffee, resulting in a lot of bitterness in the cup. I tend to boil the kettle at the same time as I'm preparing everything else, and by the time I've got everything together, the water has cooled down to about 85 degrees C. If you have one of those fancy kettles where you can choose which temperature it heats to, that really helps because it can take a lot of the guesswork out of the temperature. AeroPress is very easy and a consistently great coffee maker to use in the morning. Cleanup is perhaps one of the easiest of all coffee makers apart from maybe the V60, where you just throw out the paper filter. This one you can just point it towards the bin and push out the extracted puck. It's actually really satisfying, and all you need to do is wash it with some hot soapy water afterwards. So what about the American Press? With the American Press, I use 20 grams of coarsely ground coffee and about 300 grams of water. So the way I've started doing the extraction is with timed presses, where I'll push the plunger down to the next dot on the side of the brew chamber every 20 seconds. Once it gets down to the bottom, I pour out the coffee very quickly. Some people like to do a little pull up and push back down again to get more extraction from the coffee, but I don't generally like to do this as I think it leads to a little over extraction and more acidity. One of the things that I really love about the American Press is that it has a very clean and bright tasting final cup. Unlike the French press, which tends to leave a little bit of oil and some silt or small fine particles at the bottom of your cup, the American Press somehow manages to keep all of that out of it. One of the claims I'm not so sure about is that the American Press is easy to clean. The founder states on the website that this is one of the reasons he invented the American Press, because no one likes cleaning up a French press. While you can just tap out the brew chamber into the bin, you will have to wash all of the parts individually. So I think the AeroPress has a slight advantage in cleaning up and maintenance. In the end though, I've been truly surprised by how delicious the coffee has been from an American Press, and that's why I generally prefer it to an AeroPress. Don't get me wrong, both of them make fantastic coffee, and the American Press is a little bit more expensive, but there's no denying that both of these make fantastic coffee, and it's really easy to get a consistent result every day. Do you use an American Press or an AeroPress, and do your brew methods differ from mine? If you have a different recipe, please share it with me in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it and that it helps you get cafe quality coffee at home. If you like it, please hit that like button and subscribe. In this one, you can just put it straight into the bin. Ah, no, that's bad. Put the whole thing in the bin. If you liked it, subscribe. Subscribe. I don't know.